All right, folks, Friday main event here coming at you live from Unionville, Tennessee, the metropolis of Unionville, Tennessee, in the face are in the Friday main event studios.
That's
I'm
right.
Mike Molder. He is Lee Teat. Friday main event studios, better known as my spare bedroom, Lee Teat. we're high budget here on the Friday main event.
I noticed over rolling in, there's fresh cut hay around the place, bud.
Yep, Gene Molder's been doing a lot of. He cut about 200 acres this week.
Ooh,
So he's got a
smell
lot
good.
got a lot of hay on the ground. That's my dad, by the way, in case you didn't figure that out. Lee, big games tonight, or excuse me, tomorrow night. A couple of games tonight.
Yep.
Big games tomorrow night.
Big games all across the state.
All across the state. I've had issue, man, because what happens, Lee, and you know this. Every Friday, I go in and I actually map out the games we're going to talk about the following week.
Mm-hmm.
For the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, because of this during our Twitter, or excuse me, our live chat here, they've been trying to get me stirred up here before we got started about this COVID. But this COVID stuff is killing me, man. I'm making out our schedule to talk about games every week, and then Monday 3 games canceled, Tuesday 3 games canceled. You don't know what the heck. So there's a possibility the list of games that we've got tonight, Lee, we may be talking about games that don't even get played.
That's true.
I can't keep up with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't imagine what the coaches are going through, trying to pick a game up when a team cancels on you a day or two in advance. These guys want to play, and I think they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
I think these coaches are doing an outstanding job across the state trying to keep their teams active and playing. But
it's hard.
It's hard. It is what it is, and we're dealing with it, and we'll get on with it.
Well, I got involved with one of them this week a little bit late, unfortunately. I found out Tullahoma, and that was one game you and I were discussing going to, Tullahoma and Nolensville. I found out it got canceled, so I got to looking around, and I remembered that South Pittsburgh was available this Friday. So I text Coach Olive. I said, "Hey man, South Pittsburgh is available. You want Big Grider's number?" And he shoots me back and says, "Sure." And then I sent Coach Grider a message. Said, "Hey, Tullahoma's available. You want John Olive's number?" Because I didn't get a response, but I went on to send it anyway. But I didn't realize that Coach Olive had already spoke to some other teams prior to me, suggesting South Pitt. But anyway, long story short, they worked out a deal with Chattanooga Brainerd today, so they're going to play them. Personally, I would have liked to seen the South Pitt game, but at least they got a game. That's
correct.
The main thing.
And these guys they're juggling this,
Oh yeah,
trying to make it match with. Heck, a lot of things don't even realize, man, is getting buses. There's so many regulations right now with a team riding a bus. I mean, it's a chore right now. So
it's crazy. I know teams are wanting money to go play these games and just
ain't there.
Lee, one big game tonight I thought we'd hit on a little bit, and that's our buddy Marty Wheeler. Of course, Cleveland is hosting Bradley Central, and that's their Super Bowl every year in the regular season. Because they're in direct competition. I mean, I don't think either one of them would say that. Of course, Coach Floyd or Coach Wheeler, they wouldn't say there's a recruiting war going on up there. But I mean, if we're honest, they're both trying to get the best players available in that area.
Sure.
Just like the Blount County coaches are. So I think this is their Super Bowl, for lack of a better term. What's your thoughts on this game tonight?
It's at Cleveland, and I think Coach Wheeler's getting his feet under him now.
Yeah.
His staff's getting their feet under him. But Bradley Central, man, Trey Curry, Javon Burke, those guys, they're rolling right along. Put a beat down on Ottawa last week. Cleveland got a nice win last week, I think, over Heritage.
Yeah, but it was overtime. That's what concerns me.
Yeah.
I talked to Marty today,
Yeah.
Lee, and a couple of things I found out is he's had a running back. He's had a couple of defensive linemen out since Maryville.
That's right.
He's getting those guys back today, but he's lost a couple of offensive linemen for this game. And he let me know that Javon Burks, actually, and I didn't know this, and obviously you didn't know it, you just mentioned it. He was injured in week 1 for Bradley Central. So he's not playing. I wasn't aware of that, and as I mentioned, apparently you weren't either. So they both got key players out for both games. Look at here. Everybody's Bradley Central.
Trevor Harris in the house. Thank you, buddy. Glad you chimed in with me.
That's your bro, ain't it?
That's my brother.
So I don't. It's hard to go against the Bears in this one. 56% of our fan base like the Bears, which tells me the majority of the folks statewide think this is going to be a good game.
I think so, but man, do you think it would weigh strength of schedule a little bit, Mike? Because Cleveland's lost to Knox Central and Maryville.
Yeah, I mean they've lost some tough teams.
Opponents. So, oh man, I tell you what.
Cleveland's lost Hardin Valley, Soddy Daisy, and they beat Heritage in overtime.
They lost to Knox Central.
I'm sorry, Cleveland has beaten. Is that what I said? Beaten. Yeah. Okay. And then they lost, like you said, and then Bradley Central beat Walker Valley, Heritage, Bearden, Ooltewah, and they lost to Farragut in week
correct.
1.
That's right.
That's the only loss they've had.
Man, I don't know, Mike. I'm going to go out on a limb, man. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to go Cleveland at home.
I'm glad you did that.
You going Bradley Central?
Yeah, but yeah, because, hey, you know, Marty Wheeler's my brother from another mother.
Yes.
Love Coach Wheeler, and I didn't want both of us to pick against him, but I'm a realist, and you know, I told him today, man, I'm concerned that you struggle with Heritage, and he I love the guy. He said, I'm concerned too. He's good as gold, dude, and he's a hell of a football coach.
Yes, he is.
Hell of a football coach. But I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can hang with Bradley. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm gonna go Bradley Lee, more because you went Cleveland than any other reason.
Right. I'm going
because
Cleveland.
I'm rooting for Cleveland, and I like Coach Floyd. Coach Floyd's on my.
Yes.
He's on my Facebook. I like him as well, but.
You're having a good year.
Got a special relationship with Wheeler. he cracks me up. He's funny as crap. All right, brother. Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. Of course, we're gonna have Derrick Ring on at 6:30 tonight. This is a Region 2 matchup. Pigeon Forge beat Sullivan North 34-0 last week. Pittman picked up a COVID win. Pigeon Forge has beaten Rangers, Sullivan Central. Of course, they lost to Alcoa Lee. Gatlinburg has beaten Northview Academy, Cock County, Scott, lost to Kings Academy, which I'm going to ask him about that big lineman we got coming to UT there for Kings Academy. I'm going to ask the coach about that. Pittman, what's your thoughts on them, Lee?
I like GP at home. I think Coach Rang's rolling right along, and I could see it continuing. I'll be interested to see a stat line. I haven't seen it yet, but I'd like to see the stat line. I'll ask him about it too. As a freshman QB, that he's got running the offense. They're sitting at 5-1. With a freshman at the helm. So
he's kind of got a history of developing quarterbacks. So I'm glad to see him getting the freshman in this quick.
That's right. So I'd be interested to see that. But I like GP at home. Everybody
likes Pittman. Tolly in the house. Hammond's in the house. I got a bone to pick with Hammonds too, Lee. You know what he did to me last week? We up there at Marshall County, Springfield, watching the game. And, hell, I ain't got my glasses with me. I didn't even realize the light's on my camera. And I'll have some video up of that game a little bit later in the breaks. I'm filming. I don't realize the camera's light is on, Apparently I had it set that way and didn't know it. You can't see those screens on those cameras, how they turn. He sends me a text down, hey, dummy, you need to cut the light off your camera. Come on, man. Cut me some slack. So I got you, man. I got you. I'm going to have that light off tomorrow when I'm at Brentwood. So.
Thanks for the heads up.
I'm glad I remembered that. I'm going to get that light turned off. I got to get in my settings, figure out how to do that. So you're going GP. I'm going GP.
GP.
Looks like Hammond's is going GP.
Yeah.
All right. Lee, Shelbyville at Lincoln County. That's a game I thought about going to. Two new head coaches, Josh Puckett. We'll have him on tonight. And Lincoln County, Kevin Rose doing a good job down there at Lincoln County. They're 3-3, 1-1 in region play. Shelbyville's beaten Page, Columbia Academy. They lost to Tullahoma, and they lost to Marshall County. A couple of really good 4A teams. And as you mentioned earlier, Cade Cunningham, big night last week. 15 carries, 287 yards, and a touchdown. Love Cade Cunningham. That's my adopted son, by the way. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I tell you what, man. I mentioned this when we were on our Facebook feed earlier for a little while. I think Shelbyville. I'm picking Shelbyville in this game pretty handily, but I think. But I'll tell you what, you're starting to see Coach Puckett's mentality, his demeanor, how he likes to handle a program. You're starting to see that on the field now.
Yeah.
They're getting an identity.
Right.
Man, I saw some video of Cade this past week in that game, and man, he was just lights out. And
Tough kid, isn't he?
yeah, but that's a sign of Coach Puckett,
Yeah.
physicality.
Oh yeah.
And you could see it. I thought much more so than earlier in the year.
Saw that in the Lake County QB last year.
Yes, sir. So I like Shelbyville tonight.
Yeah, I like them too. Parker Webb's doing a really good job leading that Lincoln County team.
Yes,
He had a big game against Giles County to open the season. So I think he's a very gifted athlete as well. But I think Shelbyville's line really impressed me when I went and watched them play Page, and I think their line is getting better every week. And we're going to talk to Coach Puckett about that.
Right.
Lee, big game in Metro, and man, I'm so happy these kids are getting to play now. Pearl Cone at East Nashville. Pearl Cone won that game last year 14-0, and in the second meeting it was 28-19. So unlike most teams Pearl Cone faced last year, East Nashville seemed to have an answer. New coach Jamal Stewart there. I think he was the offensive coordinator at Hillsboro the last 3 seasons. He takes over that job there for Brian Waite. I'm kind of curious to see how they do against Pearl Cone.
It's going to be an interesting matchup, Mike, because Pearl struggled it was 0-0 at the end of the regulation.
I watched a lot of that.
And rightfully so. First game of the season, they've had very limited practices, and coming out late to the dance here, but they got it done in double overtime. But look what Jamal Stewart came from Hillsboro. He was the OC there the last 3 years.
Yep.
Does he go with the same game plan that Hillsboro had last week? Because I don't think they've changed a lot from what he was doing at Hillsboro to this year. So I think this game's going to be tight, Mike. I really do.
So?
I do. I think it's going to be a tight ball game.
They knocked off our buddy Arcente Broom last week, 51-6. Now I don't know what he's got. That was the first game for both of them. So that says a whole lot about one of those two teams. I don't know if Maplewood's down that much or if East Nashville. I mean, we know East Nashville's got athletes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tight ball game. I like Pearl, but I think it's going to be maybe a 14-0, 14-7 type game again because you got two really good quarterbacks going at it. Two real good quarterbacks. So
I can see it, Lee, because I thought that Pearl Cone, and you said it. You said last week that'd be a close game. And I thought Pearl Cone would beat them by 20, and there we went to two overtimes.
That's right.
To decide that game. So obviously you had a better handle on the Metro squads than I did. So I'm gonna follow your lead, brother. I think it's gonna be a close game too, but I'm gonna give the edge to Pearl Cone because they've just got a loaded roster.
They do. They're so talented.
They've got so much potential D1 talent on that team. Up and down that roster. I'm gonna go Pearl Cone to win that game. Ottawa at Ray County. Lee Scott Chandler's done a really good job there at Ottawa. I think he's in his third year now. And then Ray County, of course, Mark Perrington. We're big fans of Mark Perrington. That dude can flat out coach. Ottawa beat David Crockett. They beat William Blunt. Lost to Red Bank, McMinn County, and Bradley Central. So the teams they've lost to, solid programs. And then Ray County, they beat Carter. They beat Jefferson County, beat Walker Valley, and beat Lenore City, sitting here undefeated. I'm leaning toward Ray County in this one.
I like Ray County at home.
Ray County
at home. See what kind of game Hampton has, the tailback there.
South Towner likes Ray County. Everybody likes PC except Holman.
Yeah.
Holman likes East.
Yep.
Close in the fourth. Peabody says close into the fourth.
Yep.
So he agrees with us. You're in trouble. You're agreeing with me and Lee. That ain't a good sign, brother. Oneida at Rockwood, Lee. This is a big Region 2 showdown. The Indians, 76% of our fan base on Twitter at Tennessee Sports. If you're not following us, you should be. Again, Twitter, Lee, we got a pretty good showing tonight. We got
we got
quite a few followers in here.
Jacket lovers in the house. Mr. Tolley from down there at Riverside, Decatur County, Riverside.
Yeah. His boy's having a big year.
My
Alex,
gosh, you see how many tackles that kid's had?
That dude's right up there at the top, near the top of the state, I think.
Unbelievable. He's averaging double digits.
Yep. That's awesome, man. A lot of the top level kids in the state, their dads are following us, which that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Oneida again. They lost their first game, Lee, to Upperman 7-0 last week, and then Rockwood defeated Harriman 43-2. Rockwood now 3-3. They beat Midway, Oliver Springs. They lost to Sweetwater, lost to Kingston, lost a really good Meigs County team.
Right.
We had Coach Fitzgerald on with us a couple weeks ago. I don't know, man. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with the fan base. I like Oneida in this ball game, but I don't see this being. What are you thinking? 10-point game?
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's two pretty good defensive teams. Oneida, Coach Lambert they're known for defense.
Yep.
Nobody scores a lot of points on them. You got Upperman, which is pretty,
Solid.
explosive offense. Was only able to put up 7 last week. I like Oneida to win this game. I agree with you. 10, 14 points most likely. What do we got over here? Oneida.
Yep.
Tolley's got Rockwood going out there.
Going on a limb.
Going on a limb. Well, he's a 2A guy. You ought to know something about him.
Well, we got DeKalb and who?
Did I skip past that? Livingston Academy and DeKalb, Lee Teat. That's a good matchup right there. Potential Region 3 title on the line right here. I think these are the two top teams in Region 3, and they'll get to battle it out with Region 4, which has Tullahoma, Marshall County, and Nolensville.
Yep.
So this game right here could be very critical. I don't think you want to get any of those top 3, any earlier than you have to. Especially Tullahoma. My goodness, man. Well, Marshall County looked good. And then Tullahoma walked all over them. So this game right here, I think, Lee, this is the game to avoid Tullahoma to the quarterfinals.
It is. This is I don't want to say a must win, but this is a big ball game right here.
Right.
Mike, I think just right now, I think Livingston Academy's playing better.
They are. I agree.
I'm just going to go with Livingston Academy. I think they're just playing better football right now.
No, they've beaten Westmoreland, Cumberland County, and Upperman 21-14, and they beat Stone Memorial 28-6. Their only loss is to Cookville, 6A school.
Mm-hmm.
DeKalb County's beaten Stone Memorial by only 1 point. That's a good comparison there. Yeah. I mean, one team beat them by 22. The other team beat them by 1. Beat Grundy County, Cannon County, lost to Warren County, lost to Upperman, and lost to Watertown. I mean, everything says pick Livingston here, right?
Well, DeKalb's losses are Warren County. What a surprise.
Yeah, Warren County is solid this year.
Upperman playing well, and
Yep.
Watertown probably
Watertown's
one of
the
our
best.
odds-on favorites in
Yep,
2A.
in 2A.
So they took some tough losses to some tough teams, but I
Yep.
think right now Livingston's playing a little bit better.
Livingston's playing better, but we like Steve Trout's
Yes.
squad, and I think they've had some issues defensively early. I think they've I talked to Coach Cagle, and I think they've got some of those issues resolved. I'm tempted to pull the trigger right here, Lee. Hammonds likes DeKalb.
Yeah.
I wonder why. That's the team that knocked them out of playoffs last
Yeah.
year. They're good. They knocked Marshall County and Tullahoma out of the playoffs.
That's right.
They couldn't get past Nolensville, so they had a big year, and then they got 17 kids back off of that team and went to quarterfinals, Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was strong DeKalb early season. I kind of faded on a little bit. And Steve Truss, a buddy of ours.
Yes.
He comes on the show with us. I want to pull the trigger right here, dude. Everybody's L.A., but Hammonds, I'm tempted. Oh, that's scary. I'm tempted to go with Hammonds. That ain't good. Oh, crap. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I think I went, I'm not even sure it was on there. I think I went Livingston Academy on the big ones. That might even been on the list. I'm going to go DeKalb. I'm going to hedge my bet.
Okay.
I'm going to go DeKalb.
Well, they're at
It
home.
sounds like a dumb bet, but I mean, they got a lot of talent there, Lee. I just
They're
don't
at
think
home.
I don't think they played up to their potential this year.
Buddy, this is going to be an interesting game right
Cookville
here.
at Warren County. This is a
Anytime,
tough
any
one.
other time, I'd say Cookville.
All the way. But this year, Matt Turner's got a special team this year,
Yes,
6-0. When was Warren County ever 6-0? I know I heard Scott Chastain talking about this on his show Monday night. Their play-by-play guy has been there 20 years, and he's never seen them have a winning record. So, I mean, it's a magical year for those guys. 7 starters back on offense, 8 on defense. Matt Turner, I believe he's an alum. He's a Warren County alum, which is always a good thing for a program, in my opinion, because they got a special kind of bond with the the program. And 4-6 last year in his first year, which in most instances not so good, but for Warren County that's great.
Well,
and
Mike,
and he's expanded on it.
I'm going Cookville.
Cookville.
I think Stockton Owen might be the difference in this game. I know that Coach Maynard has been dealing with some injury bugs up front. I think even one of those Delk brothers, which I was high on, they're awesome players.
Yeah.
I think one of them's still banged up, man. Trying to get him healthy. But I'm going to go Cookville, but this game is going to be super tight.
Yeah.
Super
Stockton
tight.
Owen is having a really good year.
Yes, sir.
Matter of fact, I had his stats up on our sheet, Lee. I don't know. Apparently, I forgot to save it when I put it on there. But Warren County, they ran for 108. I think C.J. Taylor, the quarterback, he ran for 188 yards, scored 2 touchdowns in that 25-20 win over Siegel.
Right.
So Taylor having a big year for Cookville. I think we've mentioned him in a couple of different shows. Looks like our folks are following your lead, Lee. They're going Cookville. Don't drink the juice. I'm tempted to drink it.
Yeah, I'm going Cookville.
I'm gonna go Warren County because I like the win over Blackman, Lee. I like the win over Blackman.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Warren County. I think that's gonna be one of the better games, though. I think it's gonna be close.
It'll be a good game.
Maryville at Fulton. Coach Rob Black, one of the better coaches in the state, hands down. They've kind of struggled the last couple of years.
Look who they're playing, though, Mike. Look who their losses are to.
Yeah.
South Doyle, Knox Central, Powell. I mean, and now he's lined up against Maryville.
Yeah, he's got a tough schedule.
I mean, that is brutal.
Brutal.
That is a brutal schedule, man. I think player-wise, his numbers are down a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I'm going Maryville. You got to go Maryville right here.
Yeah, I'm going Maryville, no doubt. 94% of our fan base on Twitter likes Maryville, Lee. No need to spend a lot of time on this one. Maryville's going to take this one, no doubt. But I like Fulton. I think Fulton's going to be a playoff team this year. I'm very confident of that.
Yep.
Smyrna at Cane Ridge.
Interesting.
Lee, interesting. Yeah. The Bulldogs are playing pretty good football right now. 5-2, 2-0. They've beaten Centennial, beaten Green Hills. They've had COVID wins over McGavick and Overton.
Mm-hmm.
Their losses were to John Paul and Riverdale.
Mm-hmm.
Very good Riverdale team. Cane Ridge, of course, they didn't start playing until last week. They had to start the season with that COVID loss to your guys, Stewart's Creek. It looked good last week, 47-7 win over Overton. Tyrod Good had a big night for him. He returned 2 punts, Lee, not one, 2 punts for touchdowns of 94 and 95 yards. Also called a TD pass. Thoughts?
Cane Ridge.
Cane Ridge.
I think too much firepower, man. Cane Ridge might be the best recruit or the best receiving core, top to bottom.
Yeah.
I'm not saying 1-2 punch, but I mean they have so many gifted receivers and skill players out wide. It's gonna be hard to handle them, man.
Well, we had Eddie Woods on last week. Remember, Lee?
Yeah.
And we talked to him about that. Quentin Barnes, phenomenal athlete. They got Donnie Mitchell, who's already committed to Georgia.
That's right. Xavion Clemens flinging it around out there.
And then we mentioned Good. He's the third receiver. Name me a better group of receivers in the state.
I don't know that there is right now. I mean, I just don't. I don't know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 deep, you know, and then you got Clemens who can fling it around, and he's
Yep.
also a dual threat.
Yep.
You know, so a lot of times he's taking one of your linebackers out of the mix in coverage because you
Right.
got to spy him or
You
he's
gotta
going to
spy
break.
him.
He's going to run all over you. So Eddie Woods is on top of a good team right here this year,
And he knows it.
and I like Cane Ridge in this game.
I do too. I love Matt Williams, man. Matt Williams is one of the best in the business, but I think he just may be out athlete
Oh yeah,
this week.
So. I think so.
Hendersonville at Wilson Central
That's
ET.
an interesting matchup to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. Wilson Central, you know, we didn't know what Coach Dedman was going to have this year, but they kind of proved themselves last week. 25-21 went over Gallatin, and I think you and I both had Gallatin
Yes,
winning
sir.
that game.
Sure did.
Tristan Lewis has played really well. Xavier Ali, he rushed for 220 yards, 25 carries, and 2 touchdowns against Gallatin. He was kind of the difference maker in that game.
I believe so, man. You know, Hendersonville, let's see, their losses are to Oakland and Beach. They'd be a pretty solid Giles County team. Lebanon, beat Lebanon. Lost to Indy. I don't know, buddy.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and jump the lead on this one, Lee. I think I'm gonna go Wilson Central. They had a real good showing against a solid Mount Juliet team. I think I'm gonna take Wilson Central at home. Of course, Hendersonville won this game 30-9 last year, so you're kind of like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But Wilson Central's got a lot of kids back from last year, a lot of experience back. They are at home, and they've played well. And that win over Gallatin kind of that made them legit to me.
I'm going to split with you.
You can go Hendersonville.
I'm going to go Commandos.
Well, that's where the smart money is, I would say,
But
traditionally.
I think this is going to might be the last possession game.
Yeah. Clint Hammonds agrees with you. You might be in trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Hendersonville. But
Speaking of Clint Hammonds, Lee, why don't we show a little bit of video of Clint Hammonds' splendid young quarterback there at Marshall County. We had the privilege of going down and watching those guys play last Friday against Springfield. 2 really good 4A teams. We're going to play some scrimmage video from that. We'll get Derrick Ring on the phone, and we'll be back after this Friday main event.
It's complete to Delonte Davis. Looks like it's going to be good for the first comers. First down. With a little shake and bake. Good game, about an 8-yard pickup on the play. Maybe 9. Second and 1.
I agree. And he can't play one on. No. If I see it the first snap, I'll just get him out there. You know, Barrett's all right. He'll be all right. He ain't changed, but he'll be all right. I know. Out of all the kids we've had through here, he's one knows he's a good kid, as strong as he is, and what he can do to his touchdown.
Playoff surprise from Davis. Rolls out right. Complete to Davis. Tackled by number 5. Devontae Hudson went on the tackle.
All right, Lee, we are back. I tried to let that scrimmage video play out there so Clint could enjoy that a little bit since he's such a good. But we was showing Marshall County Springfield's video from last week. We was there at that game, and I'm explaining that for our next guest so he'd understand what we was talking about. Of course, we got Derrick Ring, head coach at Gatlinburg-Pittman on with us. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We are doing well, sir.
Better than
Well, good.
better than we deserve, Coach. You know, you coach. You've played. You played at the highest level there at Maryville. You coached at a larger program at Powell. And of course, you won that state title while you were at Dresden. You've been coaching or playing at different levels. Which of those three levels, you're 3A level now, have been the most difficult for you as a coach, and why so?
Well, I mean, I think they all have their unique challenges. I mean, when you coach at a big school, I mean, I think the positive about that, back when I was coaching at Powell, you had bigger roster sizes. Mm-hmm. So you were able to, play more kids and have more depth and, maybe, keep kids fresher throughout the game. And then you could have backups. So you didn't have to, change a whole lot week to week. And then when you coach at the 1A level, I think it's really, really important that you got to find ways to get guys breaks throughout the game because a lot of your guys are playing both ways and playing every snap. And when you're the 3A level, it's kind of a mixture because, you have some depth in some positions, but in some positions you don't. So you're kind of still using your creativity in a way to, make sure you can keep guys fresh throughout the game and make sure you can have different personnel packages to where, certain guys play in certain formations on offense and defense and special teams. So I think they all have their challenges, and I think it's but when it comes down to it, coaching's coaching. When it comes down to it, kind of football, I think, is a game of fundamentals, and whoever can block the best and tackle the best and execute the best on offense and on defense and special teams will usually win, and obviously win the turnover battle as well. So I think when it comes down to it, coaching's coaching, ball's ball, and every job and every situation is a little bit different. So you just have to kind of be flexible to where you can mold your ideas to what's best for the program and what's best for the kids.
Right.
Well, Coach Rang, obviously the hot topic of the year is the COVID situation that's going on. None of us have ever dealt with it, nor as coaches, players, and I know Hampton was forced to take a COVID loss to you guys in week 1, but really more so we was concerned, how's your team doing? Are you healthy?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's unique for everybody because nobody really knows what's going to happen.
Right, that's right.
I think one thing we've tried to tell the kids, and it's kind of really hard to get this message through high school kids, is you just honestly have to take things 1 week at a time. And, as far as football coaches, most of us are kind of habitual planners, and we like to have things mapped out throughout the year. Well, the problem is that's just not going to work right now. So you just have to take things a week at a time. And fortunately for us here at Gatlinburg-Pittman, we've obviously got a good school system and good administration, and we're trying to – we've not really had any issues with it. And, we feel like we have good support and everything. So, our kids would do a good job of trying to, social distance and wear masks and whatever and try to do the stuff that's needed to make sure we can preserve, number one, the school as far as getting kids in the school building, which, we've been in full school now. And, when you preserve the school part of it, well, then you can preserve some of the extracurricular activities. So I feel like our school and our school systems have done a good job of that. And, we're just trying to take things 1 week at a time. And, so as far as going into games, we've been pretty good all year as far as just having our roster going into every game.
Well, this is kind of off topic, but since we're on the topic of COVID, you guys, right there in Gatlinburg, of course, you got Pigeon Forge right down the road, a huge tourist attraction, probably one of the biggest in the Southeast. How has this stuff kind of affected your town?
Well, I think I think it's been good in a way from business standpoint because I tell you guys what, I've been up here now 3.5, 4 years, and it's been as busy as I've ever seen it. Huh. Yeah. And one thing I thought was with some of these states that were up north that had all these restrictions and stuff, I think people kind of use that as a time to go on vacation and get away. And, obviously, we were able to open up some stuff, and we obviously had our guidelines and everything, and our county administrations made sure there's been protocols in place. But it's been busy as ever, and
Wow.
the traffic's been noticeably busy,
Oh,
just from a
Lord.
standpoint of trying to go places. Sometimes it's you have to go the back roads to make sure you don't get in a traffic jam and sit and wait for
Yeah.
a long period of time. But it's been good. I think as far as our county goes, it seems like everything's under control for the time being, and there's been I just know there's been some people that have done really well from the business side of it.
Oh,
So
good.
it's just one of those things that I was kind of nervous for us, kind of like you guys said, with us having so many people packed in.
Mhm.
But I do think, though, with some of our stuff, there is a good chance to social distance, because these people may be coming in to rent cabins that are in the mountains to where they're not in really compact areas. And
Yeah.
it seems like, with the mask ordinance and just people trying to, enforce that. And it seems like it's going fairly well right now.
Right.
Well, you're off to a great start, Coach Rain, sitting at 5-1. Only lost to probably a real solid Kings Academy team.
Yeah.
Pretty happy with your production so far.
Yeah, I think we are. I think it's kind of funny you mentioned that Kings Academy game. Number one, they're a great football team, and number two, I just didn't realize how crazy it would be when you play a game without having a scrimmage or a 7-on-7
Oh,
or
yeah.
really anything. No jamboree. You just kind of walk into a game cold. And we were actually up in that game 13-0, and we played a really, really good first quarter and a half. And I just think the shock of playing the first game just really zapped us, and that they had played the week before, and they did a good job of fighting through it. And that was a good wake-up call for our football team to where, wait a minute, we're playing games now, and we got to push through and fight through a little bit harder. And I think from that week on, we've been a lot more focused as a football team, and I think the guys understand that now to fight and finish for 4 quarters, they got to do a good job of hydrating throughout the week and taking care of their bodies. And but yeah, that really was just a kind of a wake-up call for us, and especially I think for us as a coaching staff when probably the only time I've ever coached a football game when there's really been no other competitive events. So I think it was a wake-up call, and I think we've responded well from that defeat, and I think we're playing good football right now.
Well, they got that big kid, that Gooch kid is headed up to UT, 6'7", 345. That kid's a monster. I'm sure he was something to see in person. But, Coach, you guys have got a pretty darn good solid lineman yourself. Kevin Burkett, I think he's 6'4", 296. He's already picked up quite a few officers. Has he committed to anybody yet? And how happy have you been with his play so far?
Yeah, Kevin, number one's a great kid. He's a 4.4 GPA, 30 ACT kid, so he's number one. He's a great student and great role model in our school, and he's picked up quite a few offers. And with his recruitment, it's just kind of, I think in a way it's kind of picking up because his senior film, there's been some college coaches reach out and say it looks better than what his junior film was. So I think he's collecting quite a few offers. And as far as him making a commitment, I think him and his family are just kind of gathering the information from the schools that have offered him. And I think they'll probably sit down and make a decision. But, yeah, it seems like every week there's somebody else that's really asking for a transcript or asking for film or, really, really inquiring about maybe his potential future services.
We're joined by Gatlinburg-Pittman head coach Derrick Ring here on the Friday Main Event.
Well, Coach, you've always had a reputation for developing quarterbacks, and you're sitting on a 6'4", 200-pound freshman in Christian Hoffman, and we know he's got the size, and I've seen some video of him, and it appears he's got the arm to go with it. Talk about his development and where you see him going.
Yeah, he's number one. Like you said, he is a big kid, and if you watch him go out there, the only thing he looks like a freshman is kind of when he's running around a little bit. You can tell he's still young, but as far as body size, he's your prototypical. He's 6'4", 206 pounds. He weighed today. We were stretching, but he's got a great arm. Number one, his arm strength's phenomenal for that age, right. And I think from kind of him growing up, he's kind of been a baseball kid growing up, and I know he's done some pitching and played some competitive travel ball, and he's really got a really good arm, and he can really throw the deep ball well, which has really helped us on offense because we do like as an offensive game plan to really drive the ball down the field, and he's done a great job of doing that. He's thrown 11 touchdowns and only thrown 2 interceptions all year.
That's great.
in 4 games of action. But I really think if he can continue to work hard and develop, I think he has a chance to really be a highly recruitable kid for that position, because he's got the size, and if his arm continues to develop and he can kind of still polish up some things, he definitely has a shot to be a special player.
He's got the intangibles, no doubt. Well, Coach, I think senior wide receiver Ethan Stennett has been one of his main targets. How good a job has Stennett done at, kind of helping develop Hoffman and kind of leading that offense?
Yeah, he's done a great job. Ethan's, he's played receiver now for 3 years, and I think one thing that he's done a really good job of this year is he's gotten a lot more stronger in the weight room, and that's really helped his speed. And Ethan does a great job of running routes and tracking the ball. And so we've been able to hit him on 6 of those touchdown passes where those two have connected, and some have been deep and some have been intermediate, and then some have been short where it's just been a catch and run. So Ethan's got a couple offers himself, and definitely I think has an opportunity to play at the next level if he wants to pursue that in football. So it definitely helps. If you're a young quarterback and you kind of have a savvy senior receiver you can get the ball to, I definitely think that does help the offensive planning.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, we talked a lot about your offense, but your defense has done an excellent job, especially the past 4 weeks. Talk about some of the leaders on that side of the ball.
Well, I think one thing that helps us on defense, is the Burkett kid obviously plays defensive line too. He wants to play both ways and really enjoys that. And we have another big anchor, another big kid named Saban Moore, who's a big defensive lineman. So we feel like we're pretty good up front. And then, Connor Reagan's come on at linebacker pretty well, and he's done a pretty good job against recently of making some plays at linebacker. And then, one thing we feel like we have a pretty good secondary. We have 2 seniors and 2 juniors back there, and Liam Bracken's done a good job playing safety, and we have a couple corners. Wade Hooper and Houston Bird have done a really good job. They're juniors and they're pretty athletic kids. So, we feel like that defense, we've done a really good job of playing our assignments, and then I guess every game our tackling's kind of gotten better, and I think that you guys have probably seen that. The first couple games it was kind of the fundamentals weren't as great from the games that you guys saw. And then now that teams have kind of played some games, I think that we're doing a really good job of tackling and pursuing to the football, and just, I guess, being able to play good team defense and make sure we know our assignments and know where to be and not have any mental breakdowns.
Well, Coach, you guys have got Pigeon Forge coming over to your place tomorrow night, and I'm assuming that's a natural rivalry for GP, with the two towns being so close together. Scott Meadows, he's no stranger to East Tennessee football. Coached a lot of programs. He's taking that program over. 1 loss to Alcoa, so obviously he's got the team playing much better. How'd they look on film this week?
Well, that's the thing with them. Well, Coach Meadows, this is his second run at Pigeon Forge. Was there 4 years previously, and obviously, like I said, they're a lot better. And we knew last year they were playing a lot of young kids last year, so they do have a lot of guys back in their program. And Coach Meadows has come in, and he's brought his wing tee offense with him, and they do a really good job of running the wing tee and making sure they stay above the chains and kind of churn the clock. And then on defense, they get lined up and they're fast and physical and do a pretty good job of swarming to the football and not making mistakes as well. So you're right, it's a rivalry game, and it's a fun game for our county and for our community. And they're obviously much improved, and we just have to do a great job tomorrow night, I guess, of controlling our emotions and just trying to execute the game plans on both sides of the ball and be sound on special teams. And it's going to be a fun one. It's always a big game in this community.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you jumping on with us, my friend. Always great catching up with you. You do a heck of a job over there. Lee and I are constantly bragging on, you're one of our favorite young coaches. We think you do. Everywhere you've been, you've done a great job, and always appreciate you taking time to join us.
No problem, Mike. You and Lee have a nice night, and we appreciate the job you guys do helping out high school sports across the state.
Well, thank you very much, Coach. We'll be hollering at you again soon, buddy.
Hey, no problem. Thank you. Y'all have a nice night.
Thanks,
All right,
brother.
Thanks, Coach.
And I meant that, Lee. He's a great young coach.
What did we say? 3-4 years, he'll have GP rolling.
Yep.
They're right there.
They're right there. They're knocking on the doorstep. Big hurdle. That last hurdle's a big one.
It is.
Alcoa, but he's doing a really good job with that program.
Yes,
no
he
doubt.
has.
All right, Lee. Let's go ahead and roll a little bit more footage of that game we watched last week between Marshall County and Springfield. We'll put a little bit of Springfield video, a little bit of Springfield offense on there for Jacket Lover. I know you've been waiting on this, brother. Don't go to commercial break. And we'll get the next coach on. We'll be back right after this.
The keeper bounces it outside. Met by number 2. Pierce.
How y'all doing?
Good, Gerard.
Good, good.
Brings up second and 5.
How you doing, young lady?
How are you?
Great.
I'm ready for this day, though. It's been a long day.
I understand. Be on our show next week, so you can all comment here.
Keyshawn Robinson. Big gain on the play. First down, Yellow
Want to
Jackets.
tell everybody who you picked right now?
Marshall County.
Number 11. Keontae Woodard on the carry.
Jacket Lover remembers who we picked.
Yeah, they did.
Armstrong on the tackle.
All right, Lee, we are back. A little bit of Springfield offensive video for Jacket Lover, one of our guys here on the chat session. Appreciate you, brother. Good meeting you guys last week.
Yes, sir.
Lee, we just got off the phone with Derrick Rain, really good coach over at Gatlinburg-Pittman. We got one of our favorite guys over here in Middle Tennessee. We got Gerard Randolph, head coach at Cornersville with us. Coach, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We couldn't be doing better, man. We're actually getting to play football, so that's a good thing, isn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, you know, Coach Lee and I, we discussed this Region 5 back in the preseason, and we decided this may be the toughest. Wouldn't you agree, Lee? One of the toughest in the state to predict. You know, a lot of ballots, and in any given week, you never know, who's going to come out on top. Has any team surprised you guys so far this season?
I tell you, I've always said Region 5 1A was the toughest region in 1A football.
Yes, sir.
Top to bottom, I feel like you can get beat any given Friday night if you don't play your A game, and just teams from top to bottom this year, I feel that same way, and it's some teams playing some really good ball right now. Of course, we took one to Moore County earlier in the season, and Coach White's doing a really good job over there, and the team we're going to play tomorrow night, Fayetteville City, they're still as good as advertised. Have a tremendous amount of talent over there with all those athletes, and they're playing good football right now also. So I mean, top to bottom, Richland's doing good. They're playing good football. I feel like we're playing pretty good football right now, and just top to bottom, you can get beat any given night in Region 5 1A.
Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, with all this COVID stuff floating around and teams having to take forfeits, it's kind of hard right now, even at week 7, to see really what each team's got to this point. But, I know you guys got that COVID win over Mount Pleasant a couple weeks ago, but are you pretty healthy? Your squad pretty healthy right now?
Yeah, we are. We got a couple guys that are out, not for COVID reasons, but
Right.
just injuries. And we fought that monster the first week of the season. I played community without 17 guys and four
Wow.
starters. So
Yes.
so yeah, we fought it, and I hope it doesn't come back this way. So but yeah, I understand teams are facing it. It's hard. It's tough coaching right now.
Mhm.
But we just got to come in and take it day by day.
Well, you guys, you played a solid Middle Tennessee Christian team last week. I think you held them to their season low, 7 points in that one. You
Yeah.
pretty satisfied with how your team's playing, both offensively and defensively to this point?
Yeah, well, I think our offense could do a little bit better as far as we need to mix it up a little bit more, and of course we've been running the ball well, and it's kind of hard to get away from that run if you're getting 5 or 6 yards a pop.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that's our thing. We like to run the ball, and defense has been playing really well. Like you said, we held a really good Middle Tennessee Christian team, especially with that quarterback they have. Held them to 7 points, and probably their shortest amount of yardage of the season, also.
Coach, your only loss was to a solid Moore County team, and we got a chance to see those guys in Chapel Hill a couple weeks back. But when we were looking over the stat lines, y'all's the total yardage was pretty even
Yeah.
between the teams. So, and I think there's a good possibility y'all could meet up with them again later on this year. What do you think you're going to have to improve on if you do get to meet up with them?
I mean, if you were at that game, I mean, not to call anybody out or anything, we got to do a better job in the secondary. We gave up some splash plays, what
Mhm.
we call big plays, and that really was the difference of the ball game. And nothing to take away from Moore County, they're solid all the way around. But
Yes, sir.
to beat a good team like that right there, you can't give up those big splash plays.
Okay.
Well, Coach, you kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but you got one of the biggest games in the state tomorrow night. Of course, Fayetteville comes to town. Fayetteville, I think, is the only remaining team in Region 5 that doesn't have a region loss yet. How did the Tigers look on film this week?
Um, as always, athletic. They've got a ton of athletes across the board. They they're young, but you can't take it for what it is. I mean, they can still play the game of football, and it's going to be a tall task for us, and we're going to have to play really good football tomorrow night to get that win. But we look forward to it. They've got some speed at the running back position. They got some really good size up front, and we just got to do what the coaches have coached us up to do all week, and continue to get in that film study.
We're talking to Cornersville head coach Gerard Randolph here on the Friday Minute Event.
Coach, I believe you got a senior in Jackson Farler leading the offense behind center this year. How's he performing for you so far this season?
Jackson's managing the offense well. He's doing good, keeping us in the games. There's some things we need to work on as far as that we can help Jackson out. As far as he's not a very tall kid, so some things that we're going to try to help him out as far as getting out of the pocket and rollouts, things like that, to try to get him where he can see some receivers a lot better. And but as far as managing the offense, he's done a pretty good job for us this year.
Well, I think when you guys run the ball, big Casey Warner, Alex Hillard get a lot of carries. Talk a minute about those two kids.
Cason's our bulldog, man. He's a tough,
Big old
hard-nosed
boy.
runner.
Yeah.
He is strong. Loves to run the football. Loves to run between the tackles and just punish people running the ball. Him and Alex are good running backs, but very different type running backs. Alex is not a really big kid, but he's got some God-given ability to run really fast. So we try to keep him outside the tackles and get him on jet motions, things like that, to where we can get him out in space.
Right.
And we got another guy, Brady Callahan, that's running the ball really good for us. He's a senior this year, and I think Brady's actually leading us in yards this season.
Okay.
Brady's he came back this year and has performed really well, and we hope all three of them can keep up what they've been doing this year.
Good deal.
Well, also, Coach, you got Eli Welch playing tight end, and we saw some video of him making some big catches, really. You know, you talked about trying to open up your offense a little bit, maybe mixing it up a little bit more. Who are some other playmakers that you're looking for in the passing game?
We have, of course, like you said, Eli. He's a big kid for us, big tight end, about
Right.
6'3", and has really good hands. He's a flex type guy. We can flex him out, or we can bring him in and block and use him in our play action schemes also.
Mm-hmm.
Rhett Woodard's another kid that has really good hands that comes out of the backfield. Rhett's known more for his defense, but he's a kid that is very athletic that can go up and catch the ball also. Okay. And Tanner Edwards on the outside, he's a long range receiver for us. That's a guy that we'd like to get the ball in his hands a lot more too, out on the outside.
Well, Coach, we talked a lot about your offense, man. Talk about that defense for a minute. I think Coach Cook is calling your defense for you again this year, right?
Yes, sir. Coach Cook, who does a great job with our defense. Coach Cook and I have coached for a while together, even coached back at Morris County High School together. Mm-hmm. So he knows the defense in and out, and felt really good about giving him the defense when I went back to offense. And he does a good job each week coming up with good schemes to stop teams. So, but he's got some playmakers over there, and I named Rhett earlier. Rhett's a preseason All-State linebacker for us, and he's been playing like that this year. He's leading us in tackles, averaging about 10 or 11 tackles a game, and doing a really good job for us. And we've had some other guys, Barrett Powers, Blake Jones up front, some really big guys for us that are doing good on the defensive line also. So we've got some talented guys up front and at the linebacker position. Tracy Wood, who's our weak side linebacker, he's a senior this year, and hard-nosed kid that plays well in the middle with Rhett Woodard.
Well, Coach, man, Lee and I really appreciate you jumping on with us. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but it's always good to talk to you, my friend.
It's always good to be on the phone with you guys. Always.
Well, we definitely want to get you on with us again. Hopefully, you can make another long postseason run. We can get you on in the postseason with us.
Hey, I hope you're right.
Well, good luck to you, my friend, and we'll be hollering at you again soon.
All right, you guys take care.
Thanks Coach.
Coach Randolph. Appreciate you.
Uh-huh.
All right, Lee. Like Coach Randolph, he's a good dude, man.
Well, we say it all the time, man. He's a quality guy.
Yeah.
The people down in Cornersville, they got a good coach.
And
right
they
there.
love him.
They
love him.
And rightfully so. I mean, he's good with the kids, and that's what you want.
He's got a good staff behind him, and
does things the right way.
Yeah, he does. He does, and he's humble.
Yes.
That's what I like about him.
Does things the right way.
He does. All right, Lee, you ready to watch a little bit more Marshall County, Springfield? I know jacket lovers are ready for some more.
He was wanting to see that big catch.
Yeah.
He missed it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He want to say, I got that. I got that.
He was wanting to see that.
Davis one-hand catch?
He was asking about that.
Watch our boy Hammond's son at the end of that play, Lee. He took a lick. That number 75 for Springfield. They got a big line. Well, both teams had a big line, but that's 75. That's a dude. I think he's 6'3", 315, 3. He's a big guy.
Yeah, I was
I
focused
apologize
on the
for
catch.
not remembering his name.
I was focused on the catch.
Yeah, I was
told
too.
Me, he was like, "Hey, man, you need to see the back
I was
end
too.
of that
I watched
play.
the video, and Hammond's bounced up, and he's like,
Yeah.
But he shook it off.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, you got a 320-pound, and he pounded him. I mean,
Yeah.
he drove him in the ground, and I'm sure Clint will tell you, I'm not lying.
Yeah.
So I'm getting the call here. Let's go to commercial. Let's go to that.
Coach Derrick.
Full belly. Small gain on the play. Flag on the field.
Reagan.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Block. He was just there. Go with the iPad. He's going to make it block. Off the line side.
That was one hand, folks. I think I missed it. One hand catch. Number 3. My apologies. I'm pretty sure I missed that catch. That was a good one. Devontae Davis, one hand snag. Sorry, Mr. Davis. Think I missed that.
All right, Lee, did I lie? That was a hit, wasn't it?
Well, like I said, at the game live, I was looking at the catch. And I
Yeah.
was thinking, man, that's the most amazing catch. And I was just,
I would have never
You
got
know,
up. I tell you, that Hammond's kid is tough.
and then you said, hey, did you see the lick at the end of it? And
Yeah.
I was like, no. So we watched this video back, and I'm like, holy Moses, how did he get up from that?
I don't know, man. I had a 320-pound man land on me. I'm probably not getting up.
And roughed him up while he was on the ground,
He
laying
did.
on him, you know.
Yeah.
So-
Speaking of roughing up, man, I know a coach would like to rough Marshall County up somewhere down the line. We got Nolensville head coach Paul Derrick on. Coach, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, guys. Appreciate you guys having me on.
We appreciate you jumping on with us, Coach. You know, it's been a crazy season so far. Metro School just got started back last week. They've had a ton of kids that's missed games, as a result of that COVID. Unfortunately, you guys fell victim with that this week. That was tough. When did you guys find out you wasn't going to be able to play this week?
Yeah, that on Wednesday. I mean, that's when we found out. Obviously got impacted by COVID, and I think it's one of those things that everybody knew that it was a possibility and it was probably going to happen. And
Yes,
it's
sir.
unfortunate. It's nobody's fault, but I'm very grateful for Coach Alla being understanding and allowing us to move that game, and also Giles County and Franklin being understanding as well. So
Right.
Well, Coach, you're coming off of a pretty tough loss to a Columbia team that, to be honest with you, Mike and myself, we thought they were going to be, really good this year.
We had them as a sleeper.
We had Columbia as a sleeper team, So what'd you take away from that loss?
First off, they're a really good football team.
Yeah.
They're physical, very athletic. So I think for us it was just a learning experience. We talked about, felt like in previous weeks maybe we did some things and got away with some things, and we're able to still win the football game. And we weren't that fortunate on that night. And that's not taking anything away from Columbia, because like I said, they're a really good football team, and hats off to them for getting the win that night. But I think it's a learning experience for our football team. And I think, after the game, I told them it's time to hit the reset button and just try to get better and use that as a learning experience.
Well, it's been a crazy season. I mean, there's very few teams statewide that hadn't been affected in some way or another from the COVID stuff. You guys, I think it was week 1, you had to change your schedule up. You wound up playing a really good 6A team, which happened to be your only other loss. And, of course, we're talking to Brentwood, and we had Coach Crawford on with us last week. Which one of you guys kind of initiated conversation that got that game worked up?
Yeah, Coach Crawford reached out to me, and it just made sense for us to play that game.
Right.
We knew it was going to be a challenge playing a Brentwood team. A really good Brentwood team.
Yes,
by the way.
sir. Yes, sir.
They got a good squad this year, so it just kind of made sense to stay in county and not have to either one of us have to scramble around and try to find a game. So he called me and reached out, and we said, yeah, he needed a away game, we needed a home game, so it just kind of worked out, and hopefully we'll be better for playing that game in the long run.
Coach, you got one of our favorite kids at the quarterback spot there in Ryder Gallardi. I think he just recently committed to play at Long Island. Is having another great year for you guys. Talk a minute about your 3-year starter and what he's meant to your program.
Yeah, first off, Ryder is the ultimate competitor. He competes in everything he does. He's a phenomenal kid and a really good quarterback. I think it's no secret that our offense goes through him, and we ask him to do a lot, and the things he does to operate our offense. So I think, he's meant a tremendous amount to our program, not only because of the kind of player he is, but just the kind of leader he is. And obviously playing the quarterback position, that's a spot where you're going to be looked at as a leader, regardless of your traits. But Ryder, possesses a lot of really good leadership traits, and those kids get behind him and they follow him. But he's a phenomenal football player, very, very savvy. He's got everything you want as far as mechanics and throwing the football and things like that. But I think what really separates him is his knowledge of the game, the way he can process things pre and post snap. But yeah, Ryder, to have him for 3 years, that's been a big luxury for us. So we're excited about him. We're excited about how he's playing, and hopefully we can continue to improve going forward as a football team.
Well, one thing I like about Ryder, Coach, and of course we've been rooting for him for the last 3 years, even when he took over that starting spot as a sophomore, is the fact that he spreads the ball around so well. Gage Skipper, Colton Dotson, Ben Coggin, Nick Amato, Malachi Bloomfield, all kids that have been involved in your passing game so far this year. Out of the receivers, which of these kids you think may have next level potential out of your receiving core?
Yeah, first off, I think our offensive coordinator, Pat Curran, and that offensive staff, got a really good offensive staff, and they just do a great job every week of trying to come up with a good game plan. And, our offense is really designed to do that, to spread the ball around. And, they do a great job each week game planning and trying to allow Ryder to distribute the ball to different targets. But, Gage Skipper, Colton Dobson, all those guys, Ben Coggin, and then we got, Chance Fitzgerald in there, he's been kind of coming along as well. We got a lot of weapons on the perimeter, and then Parker Price, you throw him in there. But yeah, I think all those guys have the opportunity or could have the opportunity to play at the next level, and that's a huge luxury as well. But again, I think our offensive staff and Coach Curran, they do a great job of trying to game plan and allow Ryder to distribute the ball to different people. And that way you can't kind of key in on just one guy. You got to account for everybody, which is, obviously a challenge for the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of defense, Coach, you guys are giving up a few more points than you did last season.
Yes, sir.
But do you think that the lack of scrimmages probably impacted your young defense more so than the offense, since you do have a veteran at QB?
Yeah, I think having a 2-year starter coming back his third year in the environment we're in right now was a huge luxury for us. And I couldn't imagine having to break in a new quarterback with no 7-on-7s and no scrimmages and all those sort of things. So, that was a huge luxury. And then, I think there's no question that, not having the scrimmages to, get that live action, if you will, and then, be able to evaluate your players and really put kids in the best spot you think where they fit. And then for us, we returned 3 guys on defense from last year, so we're breaking in a lot of new guys. And those first few games really, they counted, but they were really, like scrimmages almost.
Right.
As far as getting acclimated to live action and tackling to the ground and all the things, the fundamental things that I don't want to say take for granted, but the things you would have been working on, leading up to that, you didn't really have that opportunity. So, I think it's not an excuse. It just kind of is what it is. Everybody's in the same boat, and but I don't think that's a reflection on the reason why we're giving up more points than we were last year. I think we're just trying to get better every week and trying to work on the fundamentals, and hopefully if we continue to do that, be playing our best ball, down the stretch when it matters the most.
Right.
Well, Coach, you've got a sophomore running back that's playing really well. I think Samson Johnson has 79 carries, 516 yards, and 7 TDs through your first 4 games. I believe that's like 6.5 yards a carry. That's not bad at all. How impressed have you been with that young man?
Very impressed. I mean, he did a great job last year. Kind of split carries with Ryan Pistolka last year. But we knew, watching him last year, and that he's just a special talent back there at the running back position. He's got great vision. He's a natural runner. He can see things open up, before they do, and that's really something you can't coach. But Samson's done a great job, and he did a great job last year as a freshman, and I think that getting that experience last year is something that he's building upon this year.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just talk about Samson. Our offensive line has done a really good job as well, and Coach Burrow's done a good job coaching those guys up. So, and then think Samson be the first one to tell you that, he's not going to be able to have the success that he has had without those guys. But, Samson, he's very versatile too. I mean, he can catch the football. I mean, he can get out in space and he can run, or he can, what I call dirty runs. When there's nothing there, he'll find a little crease and put his pads down and go get 2-3 yards and try to keep the chains moving.
Right.
Well, Coach, something else that we were discussing, Mike and myself, this week is, now since you're having to move the Tullahoma game to later on in the year, the back half of your schedule is going to be pretty tough with Tullahoma, Maplewood, and Marshall County.
Yep. We kind of know what Tullahoma has, and I think everybody else does, and as well as Marshall County. But the one team that kind of stuck out to us as a kind of a mystery squad is Maplewood. Have you heard anything about Coach Broom's squad and what to expect out of them? Because we only had one game so far. Yeah, I have no idea, man. I don't have any idea about what they got. I don't know. Haven't seen any film on them, nothing like that. I mean, I really don't know. But I think that's the case for a lot of the Metro teams. I mean, given their situation, I don't think anybody knows, about a lot of them. But I do know one thing. I know when they come to play Nolensville, I know the one thing Coach Broom has done over the years when we played them is they've been ready to play the night. So we'll definitely have our work cut out for us.
Right.
Well, Coach, I hate that game got canceled, man. That game is probably the one Lee and I were going to go watch tomorrow night. I hate it. But I'm really glad, like you said, that Coach Olive was able to work with you guys, and we'll get to see that game on the 23rd. So that's a good deal. And we appreciate you jumping on with us, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I appreciate it. And, I just hope that, we get to play that game. We get to play the rest of them the way everything's going right now, for us, what we've been preaching to our football team, it's literally day by day and week by week right now. So we gotta cherish every moment we have together, and then every opportunity we get to go compete, we got to take advantage of it. So I appreciate you guys having me on, and hopefully, like I said, we can be playing our best ball down the stretch and be able to do some things with that challenging schedule on the back end.
Sounds good, Coach. Always good to talk to you, my friend. Hopefully we can hook up with you again soon.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for everything, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks,
right,
Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Good dude right there, Lee Teat.
Good coach.
Good coach. We don't have no bad coaches on here.
He's good coach, man.
He is. He couldn't say anything, Lee.
Yeah, we can't.
Unfortunately for him, he can't say anything. But I can say a few things, and tub thumper on Coach T. I don't even know if this guy's got any inside track or not, but I'm going to tell you something he said on Coach T, and I suspect it's probably true. He says the Williamson County schools are not getting shut down for COVID. They're getting shut down for hyper-aggressive contact tracing, and I believe that. Schools were handling it, and he said the health department took over and kind of nuked the system. Most of Williamson County schools had single-digit COVID cases, and they were sending hundreds of kids home from each case. He says it's shameful. That's hearsay. I'll preface that as hearsay. I believe it personally, and I hate it. It's just.
Well, the contact tracing thing.
It's out of control.
Is the very reason, Mike, that we chose to distance learn my own son.
Yeah. Who
absolutely wanted to be in school.
Oh, yeah.
Like the rest of these children.
Yeah.
He wanted to be in school. He wanted to be in class with his friends. But with the contact tracing rules at that particular time in the system we were in, it just all it took was a kid just to even say, I'm sick. Got a bellyache or something.
Right.
And he's going home, man, if you're anywhere near him. And, I think you got to err on the side of caution, but you also have to be what do you say, cooler heads prevail. You need
Yeah.
to step back and really think about what you're doing.
Absolutely. Lee, we need to move on. I don't want to. I didn't want to get into this
me
too.
either.
I get fired up over this stuff, so I probably just need to leave it alone. Is probably the best policy here. But
and as far as liability goes, I don't know how a school could ever be held liable.
No, I don't.
Because you can't trace what this kid's done outside of school,
That's
so they
exactly
couldn't hold
right.
the school system liable. That would never.
And
hold
that's what
up,
this
and
is
that's
all
what
about.
they're all worried about.
That's what it's all about.
But it's ridiculous.
It is.
Okay,
Lee,
sorry.
that's
You got
all
me
right.
fired up now.
No, I know. I mean, I should have left it alone, but you know me. I'm not very good at leaving it alone, and these guys know that, which they get a kick out of it. And ha ha.
We're feeding right
ha
in.
ha. I didn't get as tore up as y'all thought I would. Lee, let's take another scrimmage break right here, and then we'll come back. We'll have Coach Puckett on Shelbyville.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this.
All right, we'll be back in a minute.
I got it on film. I don't know if you did or not, but the film will show it if you did. If he did, I got it on film. I had it in shot. We'll find out when we look at the film. What's the Friday main event next week? You know if I was holding or not. I got it on film. Straight up speed right there, baby. Yeah. Yeah.
Number 84, Gerard Smith. Second and 1. That's another first count.
All right, Lee, we are back here, Friday Main Event. I am Mike Molder, and that is Mr. Lee Teat right there. We are the Friday Main Event, the only non-profit high school football program statewide, I would say. What do you think, Lee? I don't know of any other ones, do you?
No, sir. Not statewide.
But we love it. We love it. Non-profit or not, we love it.
That's
We're
right.
doing what we enjoy doing, and we hope you guys enjoy watching. And the best part of the show for me, Lee, is getting to talk to guys like the young man we got coming on with us right now, and that's Shelbyville head coach Josh Puckett. Coach, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, Mike. How are you, brother?
We couldn't be better. We've had some great coaches tonight, and couldn't think of a better way than to top it off with an opportunity to talk to you, man. How's everything going down your way?
Well, I appreciate it, man. I hope you and Lee are having a good night. And I saw your list of coaches. I know you guys had some good ones on. had a couple battles there with Coach Randolph over there at Cornersville, and I think the world of him. He is
Yeah.
a fantastic football coach, man. Goodness, what a good team he always puts on the field.
Well, man, you're just about 20 minutes away from me now. You're over here in Bedford County. Of course, you're moving from Lake County last year where you won that state title to Shelbyville in a big 5A school. First off, how you guys like Bedford County? And secondly, how big of an adjustment was it for you guys, going from Lake County up to a 5A school?
Well, first off, I mean, we love Bedford County, man. Shelbyville's such a cool place. When you come from Lake County, Lake County is what it is. It's the way God had made it and the way God intended it. It hadn't changed a whole lot since He made it, So we weren't really around anything there, and being here, we feel like we're almost in a big city, and we're close to the bigger cities anyway. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a weird deal. When we played Cornersville, we had no idea what Cornersville was, and now it's just right down the road. So that's a pretty good deal.
Yep.
But adjusting to the bigger school, man, it's been cool. We enjoy it. Having plenty of players. That's the thing is, I coached in 3A, 4A before as an assistant, and when I went down to 1A ball, I really thought, hey, we're going to razzle-dazzle these 1A coaches, but that's just not the case, brother. 1A football is the hardest I've ever had to coach in my whole life.
Oh,
you know, having that few players and being able to adjust on the fly, and your backup quarterback starts somewhere else, and your backup tight end might be your backup right guard. It's just it's different. So I've enjoyed having a little flexibility here at Shelbyville for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Coach, we know you brought a number of your staff members with you from Lake County. How many did you bring here, and are there still any guys over there at Shelbyville that were on last season's staff?
Well, yeah, that was Lee. That was a huge deal for me taking the job. As I thought there was an opportunity to bring several guys and kind of keep the band together, and even get the band back together with a couple guys I'd worked with before.
Right.
And that was a huge draw. So I was able to bring 6 guys total.
That's great.
And one of them is our head middle school coach.
Yes, sir. I had heard that.
Yes, sir. And that's a big deal. For whatever reason, I don't think they'd ever been able to get that done here. But having Richard Ritz at our middle school, at Harris Middle School, which is our largest middle school by far, has just helped so much. I have a relationship with his players already. I kind of know his players and who, is expected to come up next year in 8th grade group. And they're using a lot of our same terminology and things like that. And it's just going to really increase this whole jump from 8th grade into 9th grade football so much. And we're blessed to have him here. And it's just everything there is going really well.
That'll definitely speed up the transition process, having those guys teaching your philosophy and your system in the middle school. That's great. I didn't even know that.
Well, absolutely. That's a big deal. And, you try to get that done. But Coach, Ritz has been with us at Lake County. And this is a role that he was happy to do, and, to be able to get up here and come on. And so I was thrilled to have him.
Oh, yeah.
And he's done great. And I think Harris is having one of their better seasons they've had in several years. They got a good group down there, and he's doing a great job with them. So we're really, really happy and excited about the future of Shelbyville football there for sure.
Well, Coach, you've only got 2 losses this year, 2 really solid teams, Tullahoma and Marshall County. Both of those teams are in the same region. I kind of talked to you about this off air, but which of those 2 teams did you walk away with more impressed with?
Well, I do. Both those teams played well. I think Tullahoma's, the better team. They're just they're very solid. Both teams are well coached, but Tullahoma's got some real star power there with number 2. He's a really good player, really strong up front, big kids, well coached. I think they play hard.
Yeah.
Marshall County does too, but I'd probably tip my hat to Tullahoma there. But
right.
I don't know, not really not really fond of this losing stuff. I try not to do it very much. So,
You don't want to pat him on the back too much, huh?
yeah, we were lucky enough to string together 15 straight without doing it. So I don't.
Hey,
I'm not really
you'll be seeing
fond.
these guys every year too. They're local, so
Yeah, I
yeah.
know.
Don't build them up too much.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to make a. Not gonna try to make a habit out of losing. That's for sure.
There you go.
Well, Coach, you jump back into region play with a trip to Lincoln County tomorrow night. They got pretty good little quarterback over there, dual threat quarterback in Parker Webb. I'm guessing that'll be obviously one of your top priorities going into the game is keeping him under wraps.
Absolutely, he's a good player, and he's real slippery, long strider type
Yes, sir.
kid. He doesn't seem like he's going that fast, but he's pulling away from everybody on film. You know what I mean? And when he gets loose, he's gone. And he's a really good player. And I think Lincoln County plays very hard. They really get after it. I think the new coach over there is trying to do a good job in getting things built the way he wants. They two platoon. They play offense and totally different defense. And I think they're just trying to get a bunch of guys on the field and get them some playing experience, playing some young guys in spots, this and that and the other. But I don't know. I think they play hard, and, we're going to have to play well, go over there and win. I think we will, but we're going to have to.
Mike Molder and Lee Teat talking to Golden Eagle football coach Josh Puckett here on the Friday Main Event. Coach, speaking of dual threat quarterbacks, you guys got a pretty darn good one there in Junior Cade Cunningham. That's kind of my second son, in case you didn't know. I'm real good friends with Kevin and Jana and all the family over there. So, matter of fact, I coached his sister in softball. So I'm tight with that family. So I'm gonna preface that, so don't say anything bad about him. I think he's done an excellent job for you guys. He seems to mature a little bit more each week, and he's definitely taking. Lee mentioned this. You can see your what word am I looking for here? Your help me out,
identity.
Lee.
I was talking to Mike. We were talking about Cade looking at his video this week, Coach. And I think that we knew your identity, obviously, from Lake County was going to be physicality, rough, hard-nosed, run the football. You talked to us even last year at the state title game about running the same play just to prove a point in the state championship game there towards the end. We're starting to see that mindset and mentality.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah,
take shape over there at Shelbyville, and man, you could just see Cade last week. It was the epitome.
He's a different player. Yeah.
Well, I think so. We're very excited about that. To be honest, that's something we've had to work on from a whole team mentality. Is we're just a little soft. For my liking, and we had to work on that. We're not there yet. It's a work in progress, obviously, but I love Cade. Cade is awesome. He's a team leader. He's a hard worker. Yes or no, sir. Just awesome kid to coach. But I joked around with him after the second or third game there. I said, by the time you graduate, I'm going to teach you how to run the ball like a football player and not like a quarterback. And over our bye week, which, we lost to Marshall County, and so we had that taste in our mouth over the whole bye week, so I wasn't very happy. And one whole day in practice, the whole offensive team period was from the 3-yard line. And we set up our defense and told them where the ball was coming, and we ran the ball and got in the end zone, a whole lot of quarterback run stuff. And, he had to learn how to get behind his pads and run the football, that's a process. And so we kind of beat him up a little bit that day in practice. And, I believe quarterbacks are football players. I don't buy into all that red jersey and don't touch them stuff. They're football players.
That's right.
So, we kind of taught him how, and then we come back the first game after our bye week, play, 6A Centennial team, and he rushes for 287. So I think we're getting somewhere with him.
He got the message, huh?
I hope so. And he's excited about it. And it really is about game flow. Like we talked about. I talked about this with the team. Last year in our semifinal game, we had 0 passing yards. And then in our state championship game, we threw for 275.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just depends on what the week to week deal was. Last
right.
week was running the football, and we ran for 460. So I mean, last week was obviously a good week running the football. This week, we might throw for 300. Who knows?
Right. And you can.
That's right. Yeah. That's good to have that dual threat.
Yeah.
Kick and throw and run,
Yeah.
Well, we're real proud of it.
Right. Another kid, Coach, putting up some numbers for you this year is your running back, DeMarcus Smalls. Talk a little bit about him.
Well, I wanted to put up more numbers, as a matter of fact. We've been challenging DeMarcus to just go, go. He's good with the football. He takes care of the ball, and DeMarcus runs hard. I just want him to go and drop his head and run, So he's working on that, and it's a work in progress. We got another good running back coming along that we're working with, Lakota Young. He's a good receiver, but I think he might be more talented as a running back. And we're working with him too, and those guys are going to work together and split some carries throughout the way, and kind of go with the hot hand a little bit, maybe week to week.
Man, I got so many darn questions to ask you, Lee, and I'm getting short on time. I'm trying to pick out which ones I want to ask you. We love talking to you, dude. I'm just going to tell you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Let me kind of let me give you a big group question here, and you can hit on them. Obviously, I want to talk about the offensive line. How well you happy with them? That was kind of a question mark for most everybody because they lost Gary Smith, a lot of big players last. One thing I wanted you to talk about on that is Marshall Jefferson. He's listed, a kid out of Missouri. He's listed on your huddle, but I don't know anything about him if he's even playing. Obviously, I want to hear about your son, Caden. How's he liking Shelbyville? Well, I was really impressed. Lee and I were really impressed with his play, man. That kid's a hell of an athlete. Talk about your offensive line and then kind of hit on Caden a little bit and tell us how Caden's adjusted to playing at Shelbyville.
Sure, yes, sir. Well, our offensive line, I'm really proud of our offensive line. That's kind of our oldest spot. We got 4 seniors going up there on the O-line. And it's maybe a spot that was a question mark because they are all seniors, but they hadn't had a lot of starts. They hadn't played a lot of football. And, man, they're just getting better and better and better and kind of gelling. And we feel pretty confident that, we can block people up front and do some good things. And Marshall Jefferson's been a huge part of that. He moved in from Missouri into this area and came to Shelbyville, and he's been a blessing. He went right into center, and he's doing a lot of the same things that my son did for us last year at center there at Lake County. And he's kind of just fitting in, and we've been blessed to have him. And I think Marshall's a college football player. We got a couple college coaches sniffing around and are interested in him, and I think he's going to be able to do that if that's something he wants to do, and I think he does. So I'm interested to see how that goes. But really proud of those guys, and of course Caden, he's just a hard worker, man. He's not the fastest guy, not the biggest guy, whatever, but man, he works hard. He's real strong for his size, and we've actually started using him this year as some fullback type stuff. So he'll be out in the slot, and we'll motion him into the backfield, let him play fullback, and he's just can kind of do it all. He's backup quarterback, backup running back, starts in the slot and plays in the slot in some different places, goes in and plays some fullback, leading the team in interceptions on defense. I mean, it's just kind of kid he is. I'm real proud of him, man. Hard worker and good leader for our football team.
Good kid, no doubt. Well, Coach, you're doing a heck of a job over there, my friend. Lee and I, we think a lot of you. Think you do a great job, and I said it all along. That was a really good hire, and I knew the folks at Shelbyville was going to be happy with that hire.
Yes, sir.
Well, man, I appreciate you guys very much for what y'all do, and like you said, your program there it's a little different, and man, I appreciate it. Anything that gets the word out on Tennessee high school football and some of these kids and put the spotlight on them, I sure appreciate that. We need more of it, and I appreciate you guys for doing it.
Well, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck to you, brother, and we'll definitely try to get you on again with us later on in the year.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Thank y'all.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye.
I love that dude. He's a trip. What do you think, Lee?
You know what I think about him. I
He's
like that, man. Hey, the quarterback
he
is a
quite tough
football player too.
That's right.
I don't like them red jerseys, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that mentality and that mindset, and I think you're seeing it now.
and I think he's going to be good for Cade because
Yes, sir.
you know, Cade's older brother Mason went on to play college ball, had a really good college career, and I absolutely think Cade is college football material. He's already moving up in the rankings here in the state of Tennessee among quarterbacks. Now I think Coach Puckett is going to strengthen maybe the you know, the skills that maybe Cade was a little weak on. So I think that was a good hire for Cade. You know,
Yes, sir.
I think Cade's a next level quarterback, no doubt, and I'm really happy for him. And it's like Coach Puckett said, Cade's just a good kid.
Yep.
Good kid. All right, Lee. You want to take a quick break? You want to roll right into games? What do you want to do here, brother?
We can roll right in if you don't care if I get a sip of a drink.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. Y'all mind if Lee takes a drink?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take a drink too, Lee.
Wet my whistle here.
Wet your whistle. What game did we? You guys help us out. What was the last game we covered?
Cookville. DeKalb, Cookville.
DeKalb, Cookville.
Or Cookville, Warren County.
Warren County. That was the last one. No, we talked about Maryville. Smyrna. We talked about that one. Hendersonville. We talked about.
Here we go. Huntington and Collinwood.
We did not cover Collinwood, Huntington.
There
That's
we
the
go.
next one on the list.
Yes, sir.
All right, wake up, you chat session guys. You're up. You're up. Get the chat woke back up. Lee Collinwood, Scotty Hannah's team 3-3, 2-0 in region play. They beat Zion Christian last week. Huntington, our buddy Eric Swinson, 4-2, 2-0. Collinwood beat Middleton, Perry County. They lost to Richland. They had COVID losses to Summertown and Loretta. Huntington has beaten a very solid Waverly team. Beat Brewston, beat Camden. Picked up a COVID win over McEwen, but their loss was to McKenzie. McKenzie happened to be one of our 2A sleeper teams.
That's correct, and that was week 1, and we had talked to Coach Swinson. They're so young.
That's right.
You know, he had question marks going in, especially with no preseason looks.
Right.
But I think Coach Swinson's right back going. I mean, Milan's a solid 3A squad.
Lost
man.
to Milan last week. You're right, Lee. I didn't even mention that. 49-20.
Yeah, but I mean, they still put up 20 points on a really good Milan squad. I think Huntington wins this ball game, Mike.
Everybody likes Huntington on the chat, and I will agree.
I'm going Huntington.
Now, this one right here, Lee, it'd be interesting because I bet you $100 we got splits on the chat on this one.
I
What
don't
do you
know.
bet?
You think me and you might split on this?
We might split on this. You're right. And we talked to Coach Gerard Randolph earlier tonight. Cornersville hosts Fayetteville. Kenny Morrison's doing a really good job there. They're 5-1. The only loss was to a solid Marion County squad. They're, I think, in week 1 they beat Richland 20-6 last week. And I think Richland's a good ball team. Cornersville 13-7 winner over MTCS. Fayetteville won this game last year, 28-14. Of course, they had to forfeit. They had to forfeit all their most of their wins. Cornersville has wins over Community, Eagleville, Grace Christian of Franklin. They got a COVID win over Mount Pleasant. They had lost to Moore County, as we talked to Coach about. And then Fayetteville beat Zion Christian, Huntland, Mount Pleasant, and Moore County. They lost to Marion County, as we mentioned.
Mike, I'm going Fayettable.
Going Fayettable.
That's a close game.
That's the direction I'm leaning also, Lee. Our fan base thinks Cornersville wins.
That's a tough place to play.
55%.
Cornersville's a hard place to win.
Yeah, they got a great fan base and a great fan following.
They get rowdy over there.
I'm putting a lot of stock in that win over Moore County, though. That was a big win for Fayettable.
I like Medlin, quarterback for Fayettable and Pullen.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a close game, Mike, but I'm going to go Fayettable.
I'm going to go Fayettable, and I think it's going to be probably like a field goal. But if they get a couple of turnovers, I like the Bulldogs. Well, both teams are really young, too.
Yes.
I mean, there's a strong possibility both of these teams are going to be playing for a region title not only this year but next year as well. Both teams are very young. I mentioned Fayettable. I think they've only got like 2 kids that see significant playing time and are seniors. So, could be a really good game this year and next year. Union City at Peabody. What we got over here? Everybody going Cornersville.
Clint going Fayettable.
Clint going Fayettable.
Big Daddy Dave went Fayettable.
Coach Randolph must have impressed these boys. He impressed me. Union City, Lee Teat, playing better this year.
Yes, they are.
4-1 overall, 2-0 in region play. Union City's beaten Adamsville, good Adamsville team. They beat Fulton County, Kentucky. Beat Gibson County. Their only loss was the USJ, a really good D2 team.
Right.
Peabody, our buddy Shane Jacobs, one of our favorite coaches, 6-0 so far this year. They've beaten Milan, very good Milan team, a high-rated 3A team. McNary Central, McKenzie, which has beat Huntington.
Right.
Jackson Southside, Adamsville, and they beat Liberty 53-6 last week.
Correct. Mike, you know what I think about Peabody? I think until somebody, comes up with something to handle them, I just think they're rolling right along. Now, do I think this is going to be a 63-14 game this year? No.
Yeah.
I don't. I think Union City's much improved. I just think Peabody's just that good. I like Peabody in this. Probably a couple scores.
Yeah, Cleet Ganaway having a big year for Peabody. His brother Malik Ganaway has a lot. He's their leading receiver. So both those kids having
You going Peabody?
I'm going Peabody. Yes, sir. 91% of our fan base is going Peabody. I'm not going against 91% of our fan base, Lee. That's some pretty intelligent guys right there. They do follow us, so got to be pretty sharp, right?
Yes.
Summertown and Forest Region 5 matchup. Lee Teat, Leslie Moat, his squad 3-3, 0-2 in region play. But if you look, they beat Mount Pleasant, Wayne County. They lost to DCA, and they lost to Lewis County.
Well, Coach Sharp's team's playing that lights out. Lewis County.
Yeah, they are. You're exactly right. And Forest has beaten East Robertson, Eagleville, Loretto. They lost to Portland and Moore County, game that I attended.
Right.
I think the obvious pick here for most is Forest, but watch out. Summertown's not bad.
I'm going to go Rockets at home, Mike.
Everybody likes Forest.
Yeah, I'm going to go Rockets at home.
Oh, game has been canceled. I didn't even know that.
Really?
Clint Hammond said that game. I told y'all I would have some games on here got canceled. I did not know that. Well, thank you, Mr. Hammonds. I did not know that. When did that come out?
I don't know.
It must come out today, I guess. I didn't know anything about it.
Well,
Summertown or Forest forfeit? Help us out there, brother.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. All right. Well, my apologies, folks. Like I said, I can't keep up with all this crap. Farragut and Science Hill. I don't think that's been canceled, has it? I ain't heard nothing about it if it has. Admirals, 83% of our fan base like the Admirals, Lee. That's a much higher percentage because this was a 50-50 in the Coach T. Big Ones contest. If Pirate Mike or the Drunken Sailor are watching, I'd be curious to know who you guys got in this one. I went back and forth a lot on this game. I think I finally settled on Farragut, Lee, but this is a tough one.
You like Farragut at Science Hill?
I don't like either one of these teams, to be honest with you. This is a tough one. Farragut won this game 35-25 last year. Farragut has beaten Bradley Central. They've beaten Oak Ridge. They've beaten Morristown West. Of course, they lost to West, and they lost to Maryville. I mean, that's the team I think is going to compete for 6A, and I think that's the team is going to win the 5A title. Right now, I don't think you could argue with that, could you?
No, I don't think so, man.
I mean, you still got to look at Powell. You still got to
Doyle.
You still got to look at South Doyle. Summit if they could get the other Wade kid back. But I think most people, if you pin them down right now, they'd pick West. Now Henry County's solid. Beach is solid.
Yeah.
There's a lot. 5A every year is the hardest. Is the hardest to pick.
Most parity.
But I mean, if you tell me pick one team right now, I'm probably going to take West right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Farragut, Mike. But I think his game is, might be just like it was last year, maybe 7-10 points.
Science Hill has beaten David Crockett, Hardin Valley, Greenville, and Jefferson County. They lost to Elizabeth.
Right.
So
I'm gonna go Farragut
we're
because they
pretty much
did
split on this, and that's
they
what I
did
thought.
play Maryville the first half. They played them tight.
Big Daddy Dave says Science Hill, Diamond is good. Diamond, our girl's best friend.
Jackson Diamond, that quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Farragut, man.
I'm gonna go Farragut too. So Big Dave, don't rag on us too much there, brother. If we miss us, that's a tough pick right there. Westmoreland at Watertown, Mr. Teat. 1-4 Watertown, or excuse me, Westmoreland squad up against a 5-1 Watertown team. Their only loss was to Nolensville.
Yep. By 4.
Yeah. They've beat Gordonsville, beat Trousdale County, beat DeKalb, and beat White House, 41-0. I ain't gonna spend a lot of time talking about this one, Lee. Watertown's gonna ride. He's gonna ride in that one. This is a good one right here.
This is gonna be a good game right here.
This is gonna be a good. I'm anxious to see the picks on this one right here. Creekwood.
Talk to me right here, Trevor, if you're still on.
Yeah, this is one he might know a little bit about.
Yeah, he will.
Creekwood at White House Heritage. The Patriots playing really good, 5-1. They beat Portland last week, 41-27. Creekwood also 6-0, 52-19 winner over Sycamore. Jackson Mapes at White House Heritage. Lee had 6 touchdowns last week, 5 rushing, and he also had an onside kick return for a TD. 52% of our Twitter followers at Tennessee Sports like WHH. That's not a very high percentage. Sounds like it's about a coin toss.
Yeah, it is, man. Mike, buddy, I don't know. Jackie Lover likes Heritage in this ball game.
I like Creekwood. I'm going Red Hawks.
Man, their only loss, obviously, Springfield.
Yep.
Heritage.
Yep.
Has Creekwood played?
They've beaten Dixon County, Camden, Greenbrier, Harpeth, and Montgomery Central. They haven't beaten any world beaters. And as a matter of fact, that's what Springfield told us last week. You'll Dustin Wilson's dad. Matter of fact.
That's right.
Said Creekwood hadn't played any tough competition yet. We was talking about him.
Right.
I enjoyed meeting him. By the way.
Yeah, that was
He's a good
dude, man.
Good old
Real
farmer.
Good. Yes, sir. Good guy.
Down to earth. Coach Wilson, we like your dad, man. He's a cool dude.
Yep.
I'm still going Creekwood. I don't know. Stetson Dickerson's doing a really good job there at White House Heritage. They fought their way into the playoffs last year, if you'll remember. They were on the outside looking in the last 2 weeks of the season. They come back and battled their way and got into the playoffs.
All right, Mike, I'm going to go Creekwood if this comes to a kicking game.
Okay. You like the kicker.
Yep.
What, Velasco, is that his name?
Yeah. Velasco. I'm going to go Creekwood and may come down to a kick.
All right. Well, we'll go with that, brother. I'll buy it. I'm going with you. Beach in Hillsboro. Lee Teat, 69% of our fan base like Beach. Hillsboro made a good showing last week against a Pearl Cone team that I had preseason in the title game.
Yeah.
So that impressed me a lot. I thought, last year at 5-6, I wasn't really impressed with Hillsboro, but good showing last week.
Right.
And we don't really know much about them. They've only played one game.
Mike, I think at this point in the season, though, Beach has played absolute brutal schedule.
Yeah.
And beat some pretty quality squads. And I think right now, they're coming into their stride, and I think Hillsboro is trying to get to their stride. So I'm going to go Beach. I think Beach wins this actually 10 points or better, probably.
I like Beach. I'm going with Coach Crabtree. It's hard to go against Coach Crabtree. Yeah. He's every year in and year out. They're going to be right there, quarterfinal, semifinal, title game. I mean, you just about expect almost every year a Beach team to reach quarterfinals. I mean, of course, I know they didn't last year. Shelbyville knocked them off. But I would expect them to be there this year. South Gibson, Westview, Lee Teat. This one, shockingly, on big ones, on Coach T, I went with a strong underdog, and I'm going to stay with them right here because I think South Gibson is I think that's going to be the kryptonite for Westview. I don't think Westview plays strong physical running teams. If you'll remember, Coach Kirby's Covington team. Real strong, heavy, run-oriented team. Run all over Westview.
Well, guess what? They got after him on defense, too. Simpson had 50-something yards passing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
got
think
on
South Gibson's in the same
Yes, sir.
mold
I think so.
as Covington.
I'm going to go with you, Mike. I think South Gibson gives Westview fits.
I do too. And I was very impressed with the win over Haywood. I mean, you beat Haywood by almost 20 points.
Oh, my gosh. I never would have thought that.
And we thought Haywood was going to be pretty darn
I thought
stout
Haywood
this year.
would run away with that game.
I did too.
So, Coach Stidham's on to something, and I'm going to go with South Gibson.
He does a great job with that program, man. Of course, they won that title last year, and that's a tough region with Milan and Covington. They won the region title last year, and I think three of their 5 region wins were by less than a score. So he knows how to win a close game, and that's always a good quality to have as a head coach. South Gibson, what we got? Deck gum. Oh, y'all copycats! Look at that, Lee. I thought
Jacket Loader said he watched them beat Haywood the other night, and
did he?
legit.
Okay, all right, we'll go along with that.
Mm.
Yeah, they're good. I like them. Centennial at Franklin, Mr. Teat. This is a big Region 6 battle over in Williamson County. As far as I know, this game's still on. Williamson County got a lot of teams shut down, so this game may not even happen. I don't know. Centennial got beat 44-28 by Shelbyville. Coach Kreisky's squad suffering a little, are struggling this year. 2-4, 1-2, but as is the Rebels, Donnie Webb. 2-4, 0-2 in region play. I think the team that loses this game is out of the playoffs. Done. Franklin senior Connor Bevan, he's thrown for 1,060 yards, 9 TDs, 5 interceptions. Bryce Sparks has 73 carries, 329 yards. Their leading receiver, Repas, is 419 yards, 5 TD receptions. Thoughts?
Franklin at home.
I like Franklin at home also. I think this is for the 4th playoff spot in Region 6. You agree with that?
I like Franklin at home.
I like Franklin at home as well. Oakland and Brentwood. This is a bonus game.
Wow,
man. We didn't think we was going to get this one right here.
Buddy.
Yeah, we're going to be there, Lee.
It's going to be a good game.
I talked to Coach Crawford today. We're good to go. We got our passes. We're in the house.
I'm excited to see this because there's talent all over the field.
All over the field. I hope Walker Merrill's back.
I hope he gets to play. I don't know how healthy he'll be. I like Oakland to win the game. I think the running attack is ridiculous. But I think Coach Crawford, it's going to be a real good matchup, Mike. I mean, a dang good matchup.
I'm with you, Lee. What's going to be interesting about this game is both teams didn't know this game was going to happen, until, a couple of days ago.
Right, and they got contrasting styles. This is a wing tee versus a spread.
Yeah. But Brentwood does run they will run the ball a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And
they're very sound defensively.
And they love to pound the rock with K. Granzow. We talked to Coach about that. He's a strong runner, man, and I don't think Oakland's seen that this year. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how they respond to it. I'm not just writing Brentwood off of this one. I think if Brentwood's at full force, we're looking at a one-score game.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I mean, Brentwood's got a lot of talent.
They do. I just think the difference in this game, though, is remember what Coach said earlier on the splash plays we were talking about. Coach Randolph, remember, he said they got to eliminate them splash plays. Well, Oakland has the ability to make every play a splash play.
Yeah.
If Coach Crawford can eliminate the big hitters, big play threats, yeah, I could see it being pretty close, but I just don't know if you can do that. Oakland got too many weapons.
Jordan James, Antonio Patterson, and then Isaiah Horton in the passing game.
Right.
Having a big year for him.
I mean, you don't kick the ball off. Victor Stevenson, if you put it in his hands on a kickoff, it's potential going to the house.
Yeah.
I mean, he's leading the nation in that.
Yeah. A lot of big play capability there.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not writing Coach Crawford off
No.
by any means.
No.
But they're going to have to watch those big play.
I
They
think
get a couple big plays behind, and it's going to be hard on them.
I think they need Walker Merrill to be healthy and a factor.
Oh, he will be if he's healthy.
Yeah, I guess that's what I meant.
Yeah.
I think he has to be a factor in this game. Now, John House, coach
Yes.
said that they had to really overuse him
Mm-hmm.
because Merrill hadn't been able to play. And then, of course, I think House had like 32, 33 carries against Ravenwood. He can't do that every game, Lee. As tough as nails he is, but you can't get that kind of carries out of a quarterback.
Well, I got a question for you. This has dawned on me. This is potential down the road matchup in Cookeville.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think there's a strong chance of that.
Do you come out swinging or do you come out not showing anything right here?
I think these guys want to win this game. I don't think they're going to try to hide. I mean, there's enough game film out there.
I mean, do you really? I would.
I know what you're saying. You don't want to show all your cards here because you may potentially play them down the road, but I think these teams, and these two coaches in particular, they're just
yeah, their mentality.
Yeah, I mean that, and the fact that they are so hardcore as far as studying, game planning. They're going to know what your strengths and weaknesses are. You're not going to be able to hide anything. Creasy, my gosh, Creasy stays up 10 o'clock every night watching video, even on his off week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Coach Crawford is just adamant about, what he does.
Well, yeah, you know how much he loved football. He was at a middle school game.
Yeah, when we talked to him.
talking to us.
I don't think either one of them hold anything back. I'm going to go Oakland because I don't know about the Walker Merrill thing. I think if he's healthy, this is a tie score. Tie goes to the home team, but I don't know how healthy he's going to be. And Coach, even if he is healthy, when you got a hamstring, when do you turn it loose?
You can't, man. He's such a fast twitch kid.
Yeah.
He worries.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Oakland, Mike, and I think the kicking game's going to help him.
Yeah, I think so too. Bledsoe County at Marion County. We're closing in on the finish line, guys. Hang with us. We're about there. Bledsoe County, Marion County, Lee. Coach Tabor doing a really good job there at Bledsoe County. He was 8-4 in his first year there. He's 5-0 this year. What an amazing job he's done. Of course, he spent 11 years there in Georgia. Took over that program last year. Man, he's been a godsend for Bledsoe County.
That's right.
Warriors, 59% of our fan base like them at Tennessee Sports on Twitter. South Pittsburgh, I'm sure they'll be rooting heavily for Marion County to win this one, don't you imagine? Since there's so much love there.
Yeah.
Sarcasm intended. I'm going Bledsoe County in this one, Lee.
Really?
On the road.
Really?
Yep. That win over Tyner was
I tell you what, I think so too, Mike.
And then beating Sequatchie County 35-0 last week.
Well, I tell you what I think, though. I think what's really going to affect Marion County more than anything is they ain't played since the 4th.
Yeah.
It's a darn month ago.
They had some COVID stuff going on.
Haven't played for a month. So, I'm taking Bledsoe County.
Yeah, it's going to be some rust, I'd say.
Yeah.
All right, Lee Teat. Henry County, Gallatin. This is a big game right here, and you wanted to throw out some kudos on this one, didn't you?
Yeah, I tell you what, man. You know what I think of Coach Watson over there at Gallatin. I love the dude, but I think Henry County's got too much for him this year.
Yeah.
And prime reason for that is Mr. Ryan Dameron, that sophomore QB over there at Henry County, man. He is legit, runs the offense well. Much like Coach Puckett was talking about earlier, he takes what's given to him. If the run game's working, they're going to run the football. If the pass is there, he's taking the pass. So, and they have some pretty good receivers out there, man, and Jaden Kendall and Jamarcus Johnson. I just think it's too much, man. I think Henry County's got too much for him.
If my wife, Joan Molder, happens to be watching this show right now, she can turn that air conditioning down a little bit if she wants to. I'm getting a little stuffy in here, Lee. Yeah, I think so, Lee.
Juwan Odoms.
What were you surprised by the Wilson Central loss last week? I was.
I am, man. But Coach Watson, man, he lost a bunch of good ballers.
He did.
Last year,
And Mason Stanley, despite the fact he's got 648 yards passing, Lee, he has thrown 6 interceptions to only 5 TDs. So that's a concern. He's rushing for 298 yards and 3 TDs, but the turnovers, that's not good. So I'm going Henry County on the road, but I think it's going to be a good game.
I do. You ain't going to go over there to Gallatin and not come out
Oh, no. They're
easy.
tough.
They're going to play you hard now.
Milan and Covington, Lee. This is one we were playing. I'm sorry, Coach Kirby. I know I told you we may be coming to that one, but we didn't know Brentwood and Oakland were going to
play right up the street.
We're going to hook up right up the street with a potential Cookville matchup. So my apologies, buddy. We did plan to go to that one, but that's going to be a good game, Lee. That's a Region 7, possibly title game on the line there. Or, excuse me, region title game on the line.
I like Covington.
You like Covington?
Especially at home.
Covington has played very well. Milan quarterback, my boy Anthony Brown, he's having a big year for Milan. 242 yards passing, 4 TDs versus 1 interception. He's also rushed for 600 yards and 5 TDs. So I was kind of looking forward to seeing him tomorrow night.
Easley's doing well, too.
Yeah.
They're their tailback.
533 yards, 8 TDs rushing. So Milan's got some weapons. And
think
these teams always play close.
They do. I just think that Covington this year is, I don't want to say more so, but a little more physical than they've been in the past. I think this year, man, they're knocking some people's teeth out. Like they're getting after it, buddy.
I'm going with you, brother. I'm going Covington. And their number one game, Lee, is not happening. We had Nolensville Tullahoma as their number one game. They picked up Brainerd. Brainerd sitting at 5-1, 1-1 in region play. They beat Hickson, Howard, Lookout Valley, Sweetwater. Of course, they beat Austin East 50-0, but I think Austin East is way down this year. Versus this Tullahoma squad, Lee, that's 6-0, and they beat some good teams. They beat Lincoln County. They had Lincoln County down 49-0 at the half last week. So Jacoby Thomas playing really well, 709 all-purpose yards for Tullahoma. They've beaten Shelbyville, Coffee County, Marshall County, Franklin County, and again Lincoln County. Tullahoma walks in this, and I really wish they had. I really wish they'd found a different game. I don't think this game's going to be close. What do you think?
Tullahoma walks.
I guess that's it, Lee.
That's
all the games we got, brother. All right, man. That's another one in the books. Appreciate the chat, fellas. Appreciate you guys jumping on with us, man. And it's always fun. Always fun, Lee.
Yes, sir.
I love talking high school football. Love talking to the coaches. We appreciate all the coaches, Derrick Ring, Gatlinburg-Pittman, Gerard Randolph at Cornersville, of course, Coach Derrick over at Nolensville, and then our buddy Josh Puckett down at Shelbyville. Appreciate you guys coming on with us.
Man.
It's been a great night talking high school football. Appreciate Coach T, Jim Thompson, CoachT.com. Get on there. Get you a Plus membership. If you're on Coach T and you're not a Plus member, you're not on Coach T. I mean, he's done a lot for high school sports in the state of Tennessee. So with a small donation, you can become a Plus member, and I appreciate it if you guys would do that. And, of course, Elaborate Images. Lee, she's got us a store set up on her website now.
All right.
Go to elaborateimages.com, or you can go to FridayMainEvent.com. I got a link there. She's got a Friday Main Event store set up on her website. If you want our merchandise, shirts, hats, sweats.
I just got 10 of them.
Yeah, you did.
I've already given 2 of them away.
Have you?
Yeah.
That's good.
2 of my buddies did.
Popular. So, yeah, if you want some Friday Main Event gear, get on Elaborate Images or go to FridayMainEvent.com. We got a link there. You can get stuff, order it from her. We love to see some represent at all the games. That would be great.
Yes.
Somebody from every game wears some Friday Main Event attire.
That'd be awesome.
That would be cool. And send us pictures.
Yeah, put it on.
We'll post it
to
on
the group.
we'll post it. So send
Yeah.
us pictures. We appreciate you guys. All right, Lee. For Lee Teat, I'm Mike Molder. This has been the Friday main event. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week. Oh, I tell you what, Lee, I'm gonna play some more scrimmage video that I didn't have. So if you want to, the show's over, but if you guys want to hang over and see a little bit of scrimmage video, I'll put that up before I go to our conclusion.
Braden on the carry. Nice gain on the play. Pick up a flag. Second 5 go. Ball on the Tiger 41. Quick hitter to Kai Howell. Big game, but there's Lodger on